How to deal with difficult people, 8 Stoic techniques. Marcus Aurelius. Think about the person who ruins your day just by walking into the room. The coworker who takes credit and gives blame. The relative who criticizes everything you've built. The stranger online who lives to provoke you. You can't remove all of them from your life, but you can stop handing them the power to control how you feel. That is exactly what the Stoics learned to do, and it starts with the most honest morning routine ever written. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius opened his private journal and told himself something strange. When you wake, expect to meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, and unkind. He wasn't being bitter. He was preparing. And then he added the part that changes everything. These people act this way because they cannot tell the difference between good and evil. They are confused, not evil. They share the same nature you do. So how could you truly hate them? Let's walk through 8 Stoic techniques, drawn from Marcus and his teachers, for dealing with the difficult people you cannot avoid. Technique 1. Prepare in the morning. Marcus began each day by rehearsing the difficulty before it arrived. He didn't wait to be blindsided by rudeness. He expected it, so it couldn't shock him. You can do the same in 30 seconds. Before you open your laptop or walk into the meeting, tell yourself plainly, today I will probably meet someone impatient, someone dismissive, someone who interrupts. When it happens, you won't be knocked off balance, because you already saw it coming. Surprise is what turns a small annoyance into a ruined afternoon. The blunt coworker who fires off a cold email at 9 a.m. only has power over you if you expected sunshine. Expect a little rain, and you'll carry an umbrella. This isn't pessimism. It's the calm readiness of someone who refuses to be caught off guard by human nature. Technique 2. Remember their behavior is about them, not you. When someone snaps at you, the instinct is to make it personal, to ask what did I do? But the Stoics understood that people act from their own inner state. The relative who criticizes your career is usually broadcasting their own regrets, fears, and disappointments. The troll typing insults is revealing his own emptiness, not evaluating your worth. Marcus reminded himself that others act from ignorance of what truly matters. Their cruelty is a symptom of their confusion. When you stop treating every jab as a verdict on you, it loses its sting. You become a wall the insult bounces off, not a sponge that soaks it up. Next time a harsh comment lands, try a quiet thought. That's about their pain, not my value. Say it, and watch how quickly the heat drains out of the moment. Technique 3. Don't hand them control of your mood. Epictetus taught that some things are within our power and some are not. Other people's words and actions are not. But your response always is. When you let a rude driver, a snide colleague, or a nasty comment dictate your entire mood, you have quietly given that person the keys to your inner life. Why would you do that? Picture it like a remote control. Every time you react on autopilot, you're handing someone the remote to your emotions and letting them press buttons. The Stoic reclaims the remote. There's a small pause between what happens and how you respond, and inside that pause lives all your freedom. Take a breath. Notice the anger rising. Then choose. You may still address the problem, but you do it from a place you control, not from a reaction they triggered. Technique 4. Find the shared humanity. Marcus wrote that we are made for cooperation, like hands, like eyes, like the rows of upper and lower teeth. Even the difficult person is a fellow human, shaped by circumstances you can't fully see. That short-tempered manager may be drowning in pressure from above. That bitter neighbor may be lonely in ways they'd never admit. This isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about softening the hatred that poisons you more than it ever touches them. When you see the frightened, struggling human behind the hostility, contempt becomes difficult to sustain. You don't have to like them. You only have to recognize that they, like you, want to be happy and are simply going about it badly. That recognition keeps your heart from hardening, and a hardened heart is a heavy thing to carry. Technique 5. Set boundaries without a speech. Stoicism is not passivity. Marcus governed an empire and had to say no constantly. But notice how the Stoics acted, calmly and briefly, without a dramatic monologue. You don't owe anyone a lengthy justification for protecting your time and peace. If a relative keeps prying, you can simply say, "I'd rather not discuss that," and change the subject. If a coworker dumps their work on you, a plain "I can't take that on this week" is enough. The power of a boundary lies in its calm delivery, not its volume. The more you explain and defend, the more you invite a debate. State the limit once, kindly and clearly, then let your consistency do the talking. A boundary repeated without drama teaches people how to treat you far better than any angry speech ever could. Technique 6. Respond to the behavior, not the person. When you attack someone's character, you invite them to defend it, and the conflict escalates. The Stoics focused on actions, which can change, rather than labeling a whole person as bad. Instead of "You're always so disrespectful," try addressing the specific act. "When you interrupted me in that meeting, I lost my train of thought." One is a declaration of war. The other is a piece of information the other person can actually do something with. This keeps you fair and keeps the door open. It also protects your own mind, because when you brand someone as a villain, you commit yourself to seeing them as an enemy forever. Judge the deed, not the soul. People are more than their worst moments, and treating them that way often gives them room to rise to it. Technique 7. Limit your exposure. Epictetus was blunt about the company we keep. He said that if you spend time with someone covered in dirt, you can hardly avoid getting a little dirty yourself. The people around you shape you, slowly and invisibly. If someone consistently drags you into negativity, gossip, or rage, you are allowed to see them less. You don't need a confrontation or a formal ending. You can simply reduce the time, decline the invitations, keep the conversations short. Protecting your peace is not cruelty. It's maintenance. Think of your attention as a garden. You wouldn't plant it next to a factory belching smoke and expect it to bloom. Choose your soil. Where you cannot leave entirely, you can still create distance, keeping interactions polite, brief, and shallow, so their storms stay outside your walls. Technique 8. Walk away when the cost exceeds the lesson. Every difficult person offers a chance to practice patience. But the Stoics were practical, and there comes a point where the lesson isn't worth the price. If an interaction is draining your health, your dignity, or your sanity, the wisest move is to disengage. You don't have to win the argument with the troll. You don't have to attend every fight you're invited to. Marcus reminded himself that you always have the option to simply have no opinion and walk on. Silence and distance are not defeat. Sometimes leaving the room is the strongest, most self-respecting thing you can do. Ask yourself honestly, what am I actually gaining by staying in this? If the answer is nothing but exhaustion, then walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself. Some battles are only won by refusing to fight them. So here is the truth the Stoics understood. You will never run out of difficult people. There will always be someone arrogant, ungrateful, or cruel. But their behavior is a storm outside your window, and your inner life is a house you get to keep. Prepare in the morning. Remember it's about them. Guard your mood. See their humanity. Hold your boundaries. Judge the act, not the person. Limit the exposure. And walk away when you must. Marcus faced betrayal, war, and endless human folly, and still he chose, every single morning, to meet people with reason instead of rage. If an emperor could do it, so can you. The difficult people are not the test. Your response is. And that response has always belonged to you.